it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
You know, I've said these things until I'm blue in the face. Over and over the years. And I'm not saying I'm some prophet. I would never say that. I would never say that. I would say that I'm one who sees things. There's a lot of things that have come my way that I never saw. Others who can see a little better. Lance, you need to watch out for this person. Lance, you need to watch out for that endeavor you want to get into. Are you sure you want to do this? Whatever. Elders who don't necessarily have to be olders. They could be elders and several decades younger than me. See, the artificial construct of time doesn't honor that, okay, you have to wait until you get to this chronological age for you to be able to see certain things. There are children, 8, 9 years old, who have such spiritual gifts. They can run circles around you and I because we got caught up in this matrix, and they're fresh in their mind and in their sight on a spiritual level. And that's the challenge here in this world, this matrix that we're living in, the illusion of it that we've sold out to. Nature is not the illusion. The man-made engineered world is the illusion. And we get so caught up in it that we start lusting after what other people have, or getting angry when they reach a newfound status in their development through the hard work, meditation, and healing that they did. And we want it for ourselves, but we can't get it because we're still steeped in hedonistic, lustful desires on this level. I talk some crazy stuff sometime, but I do that because I know where I'm really anchored. I can say those things. You see what I mean? The man who had a heroin habit, who shot drugs in his arm, can go back to the brothers and sisters who are still doing it, feel the temptation to do it anymore because they're completely cleansed of it. But when you see people in your midst who claim to be on such a high spiritual level, but they are so hateful, envious, competitive, worried about what you're doing, they're lying to themselves. We all operate on a spiritual level, but there's higher levels and there are lower levels. And like I've always said before, demonic energy, they're very spiritual too, because they're right there with you, picking up on your frequency. They cannot go as high as you can, but they're right there listening to the radio transmissions, just like back in the old wars, World War II, and you had enemy factions listening to the communications of the enemy, so they can know what to do to offset that. Now we know in these days they have digital communication and different things that are encrypted that you can't, listen to, and who knows, they can probably do that too. But demonic energy operates the same way. And again, we have to see ourselves as energy. We're in these bodies. That's an illusion. So if we're caught up in the body so much, we'll miss out on ascension. So many of us will miss out. So that's why I say, and people get scared when I say it, I'm preparing for this thing called death, ascension, graduation. You're moving up. And you don't want to hear that because lots of times you're so caught up. I don't mean you personally. I'm just saying you as a figure of speech. Lots of times you're so caught up in the flesh that the thought of leaving the flesh scares you. You're going to go anyway. Why don't you prepare what's inside of you, that when the parting of the flesh and the spirit happen, you can go high. So you're like that caterpillar that's in the cocoon and not changing. So what the hell are you in the cocoon for unless you're to develop these wings? So when the cocoon breaks and it's time for you to get out, you move around, you got too big for the cocoon, you can fly away as a beautiful butterfly. But so many of us are in the cocoon and we don't want to think of nothing else. We don't want to sit down and contemplate and absorb and understand these lessons that we just received on a spiritual level, because those are our wings. Your higher level of spirituality are your wings. But if you hold on to hating people, speaking bad about them, that, what's so astounding to me is that you have extremely negative people out in the world who think they're positive. You can't tell them they're not positive and on a higher spiritual level, and they talk it. But you're looking at their deeds and their spirit, and they some of the most evil people you ever want to know. That's amazing to me, how people can lie. See, I don't hate on anybody. I just don't want you around me. And when I don't want you around me, when you're on those lower gossipy ass hating levels, smiling in your face and saying things behind your back about your business that you don't even know about, I don't want you around me. I don't want to have to wrestle with those spirits. I will not tolerate it. I'm going to tell you off and move out of my way. I'm not even going to hold on to anything just to keep the peace. I'm going to hold on to your confusion so you can have peace and I'm in turmoil? No. On the way out of your life, you let these demons know, this is why I don't want you around me. Stay away from me. I don't need you. And in actuality, you don't. So watch these people who come around you and they afford you certain amenities. Let's get raw now. Let's talk about it. Ladies, you know that guy no good for you. You know he ain't really going nowhere in life. I'm not saying all men. I'm saying to the ladies who got a no good guy. But he dicks you down so good. And he puts his mouth on you so good and takes you to heaven. And you laying back, oh my God, I know he's no good for me, but I can't let this go. Then you start to negotiate. Well, if I do find a good guy, I'll have the good guy, but I can't let this go. So already you are undermining your decent life. And you're blocking that good man from coming into your life because you can't let these sensations go. It's like that. There might be somebody great that you're supposed to meet for you in 2 weeks, but you still messing around with this dude. He got a key. He can come in whenever he wants. He come in 2 in the morning. You know he's messing with other women. You know he's lazy. He's sucking from you. Not in the good way, because it feel good, don't it? But you got to be able to get rid of that stuff and clean it away and make room for the good that you're supposed to be preparing for. Because, and I'm using the example of the woman. Now, I'm not knocking women because the same thing I say for a sister is the same thing for the man. I'm just not going to tell the story twice. Y'all have sense. I'm just using that because let me tell you something. Your indulgence with these entities, that it may not even be a sex thing. It might be just a reminiscing thing where we've been friends for so long, but they're not going nowhere. No, they don't want to go nowhere. And they don't want to see you go nowhere. They'll smile and encourage you and say some nice things, but they don't want to see you go nowhere. No. And if you keep them in your life like that, I'm not saying like banish them, but you're going to have to put some distance, because if they're all up on you, crowding you with their energy, the new can't come in. That's like going in the shower and you stinking. Let's just talk raw. You straight stinking, straight funk. Ooh. You know, sometime when you're sick with the flu and you're inside, we all have these days where, I just can't get up and shower. My fever's high and I don't want to get up out the bed and even go to the bathroom, but I got to go. But I wash down in the morning. I'm too tired. And you go and you sip some tea, right? You squeeze the lemon in the tea. The lemon falls out your hand on the ground. And you got nothing but a robe on, or maybe you naked, because you home. You can walk around naked. You squat to bend down and pick up the lemon, throw it in the garbage, and you smell your backside. Whew, Lord. I know I'm tired, but I got to take a shower. I can't go into bed with smelling like this. You understand? So the people who are on you, who are not good for your overall trajectory of positivity to reach your goals, you got to put some space behind them or between them. Because why go in the shower if you got a hefty bag on over your head? The water ain't going to hit you. You ain't going to be clean. And also, when you hold on to these negative entities that are around you, it stops anything good that's destined for you to come to you. And if you don't wake up fast enough, because there's an expiration date on everything, y'all. It ain't like you can just be this way for 5 years and have that blessing of a proper mate that wants to build with you, who wants to be with you, who wants to be focused on you and faithful to you. And you focus on this piece of dick. How foolish. And you wonder why you get to a certain age and I just never found nobody, because you've been messing around that person who's been blocking you from having the water and the soap hit your body to clean you. Showering with a hefty bag. It ain't never going to work. It ain't never going to work because it's a barrier to your growth. And see, on a divine level, circumstances can happen where folks that you thought were in your corner but are not in your corner, when you think back, you're like, this is why they did this. This is why they said that. This is why. I see it now, but you didn't see it before because you were hook, line, and sinker with the devil. I'll say devil just for brevity purposes. Negative energies, or, we'll just say devil. We'll talk the Christian talk today. Y'all know it. Don't act like you don't know it. See? And circumstances have to happen to pull them away from you, reveal who they are, and you can now feel light to move and do what you have to do. Don't be foolish and run down these old energies because they're familiar to you. When you break up, or these people in your family or your in-laws or these entourage, whatever, let them stay where they are. See, they think, oh, a little time can go by and I can wiggle back in. That's how narcissists do. No contact, zero contact. You on a new level, even when you're drained and not where you should be. Don't run back. Stay right where you are and let the universe deal with you, and you focus on you, what you got to do. That's the only way to make it happen. And when you're independently levitating towards your form and brand of greatness, there's nobody that can stop you. But you got to know what your mission is. You've got to focus in on yourself, and you got to take yourself away from these energies that you don't see. Because again, you have to see people as energy. And remember, people don't have to be around you physically for their energy to affect you. I piss people off every day, even in my sleep, because I got almost 5,000, 4,900, something around in there, almost 5,000 YouTube videos where I'm talking about different things. Not just that, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, other platforms, things are embedded, Lancescurv.com. My voice is out there all the time, constantly on different platforms, and not everybody loves it. So when I'm laying in the bed and I feel negativity, it may be that. It may be somebody I don't even know. But then the overwhelming amount is positive. So I focus on that. But I don't think it's me when negative thoughts come in. It ain't me. I'm not trying to be negative on myself. I know what it is. I didn't even know what the exact source is. It doesn't matter. As long as you don't allow that to permeate into the inner recesses of your being and become part of your fabric. Because if you take negativity out of some people's lives that are so negative, they'll die. For real. It's like people who were drinking all their life, alcoholics from when they're young teenagers, and now they're in their 50s. And they finally beat the habit and die because their foundation was based on the negative. And they've been at it so long that if you remove all of it, what do they have? we know our lives now. Even these self-professed prophets and people who are supposed to be so good, in the midnight hour, they don't forget where they came from. They don't forget what their true intentions are. I'm trying to keep mine pure, and people get shocked when I say certain things. I can't believe he said that. Because I'm at peace with every part of my being, and I'm at peace with what I was. I don't want to be what I was, but I'm at peace at the roads that I came down in this journey to become who I am now. So how am I going to forget what I did? How am I going to forget the decadence that I did? It makes me laugh. I can talk about it. And we're going to be doing some things on some other platforms where we speak about relationships and speak about sexuality, but we are going to be raw. Not just to be raw. We're going to take it there because that's where many people are. Why am I going to use gynecological terms when they're somewhere else? You're going to speak up the spiritual influence on that also. But it's going to be raw, raw, raw. I ain't telling where it's going to be. I may upload some stuff on Lancescurv.com and say, if you want to hear it, come on over there. Because I don't even need the distraction of people. Oh my God, Lance, you're talking this way. Yes, because I have been places many of you have been and roads that you've been down, but I may have been going down that road even further. So I know I'm going to speak about the hedonistic, negative pleasures that are so powerful, it can rule your life. I'm going to go there because I've been there. Not just the normal stuff, but the stuff that borders on demonic. Not even borders, it was demonic. I'm going to take you there. And hopefully I scare the crap out of half of y'all. But that's what it is. You have to be real in what you do. When a doctor tells a patient that he has some kind of stage 4 cancer, how do you butter that up? You're going to eventually have to tell them reality. So why do we butter ourselves up with lies? We tell ourselves lies and base our growth on the way we lie to ourselves. But in the midnight hour, we know exactly what we want to do, and we know exactly who we are. Why do we lie to ourselves this way? I don't understand it. So I'm not lying to myself no more. It's been a wonderful journey, but I rolled around a lot in the mud on the side of the road. And at many points, I liked it. How am I going to admit to certain things and say, listen, I was addicted to this, in the sex world, and I liked it. And in my meditation, in these last 3 days, as things came up out of me, I tasted the thing in my mouth again, symbolically. Because like you say, when you eat a meal that you thought was good, but it was bad for you, and it's coming out, and you on your knees over the toilet, throwing it up, you're going to be like, oh my God, that tastes so nasty, but it tasted good when it was going down. But when you realize it ain't no good for you, it don't taste no good no more. Same ingredients, partially digested, but it's coming out. Don't get caught up in it when you taste it again. Because in my healing in the last 3 days, some things came up out of me, and I had some intense desires for some of the things specifically that I used to do. I'm telling you the truth. Am I lying? And it went away because I resisted, because it was on its way out. But even when these demonic forces and residues that are inside you on their way out, they can trap you again. And I thought about something specific that I used to do with 2 women that I used to love, that I was hooked in to the person that got me into that. And I was craving it. I'm being honest with you people. And I said, oh my God. Now, if I was wayward, it's like, I know who I can call to. Let me offers were made to me. People have moved out here in the motherland right here. Listen, baby, I remember what you did to me in 1988. If you ever want to come on around. So things sort of hit me in the head. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm doing good. I'm not doing that. That's why I told people on one of the shows, they said, will you ever do certain things again? I said, you know what? I plan not to. I plan not to put myself in that situation. But I know what I don't want. And how easy it is for us to fall. So you know what? I'm not going to say I'm not going to think about it again, but I ain't going to think about it too long because I know where it's going to take me. I want to go to higher ground. I'm preparing myself to part from the flesh. And let me tell you something, and I'm going to go after this. I ain't going to make this too long. When you are prepared for transition, life gets sweeter because you know you're ready. It's not about death, y'all. There's nothing wrong with me and my health. There's nothing I'm conjuring up on myself. I'm just preparing so I can be more effective now. And I'm going to prove it to you. And I did this before in this particular analogy, which usually falls out of the sky. I don't know where I get them from. That's just a gift. I had a teacher in elementary school tell my mother, I think I was like in 4th grade, 4th grade. She's like, your son, he thinks a certain way. And I know he just comes out of nowhere with these analogies. He didn't know what we were going to talk about, but he compares 2 different things in a way that, and it just happens. It's just amazing to me. There's a part of his brain that is so advanced. I like hearing that, right? But I don't take it for granted. But like I said before, in this case of preparing for transition, and your life will be sweeter when you're ready, right? Is that when you have a trip, say next Friday, you got to leave out the country for a month, and you haven't packed your bags yet, but another person has everything packed, everything well thought out, even took some things out the bag that they realized they didn't know. Because you know, black folks, if they go somewhere for a week, they're gonna bring 14 suitcases and half the stuff they ain't gonna wear, and it's gonna be all over the hotel room looking dumb when they only wore like a couple of things. So the next person prepares, right? And they're done. Their suitcases streamlined and is sitting over there by the side. Everything is packed. The night before the flight, they go out to have a nice dinner and they're so relaxed and enjoying themselves because they don't have to think about the transition of traveling. But you now, who are not prepared, right up until the time when the cab comes or the person who's going to take you over to the airport comes, you still running around. Oh, give me 10 minutes. I need some extra time. I can't find this so-and-so. I can't find. And you're going to mess them up because it's like, listen, here's some money for a cab. We want to be in the airport not only on time to check in, but before. And we want to be in line and get it done. We ain't going to mess up. You had all week. We knew we was going to do this trip from last month. You could at least had your bags packed from last week. So, how do we compare that? Most of us who are scared of death, it's because we're not prepared. Most of us who are scared of transition and the thing they call death, which is not death, is because while you were in the cocoon of this life, trapped in your decadence, you didn't take the time to develop the wings that you can fly. So when that caterpillar comes out the cocoon unprepared with no wings, it goes right back to the ground and got to be fearful every time they're around people walking around with these big shoes that can squish them and crush them. Because if you don't prepare, there are too many negative energies, fallen angels and spirits that you're going to wallow with. It may not be the stereotypical hell they say, but you're going to be right here with things that have not ascended. Do you want that? Especially when you see what's on this earth with your naked eye. You see the decadence with the naked eye. Could you imagine the thoughts that people think that they don't do or do behind closed doors or with other people who are really deep in this thing? Could you imagine when you walk down the street, the people who are lusting after you and the things they think about doing to you? You a straight man. How many men around you are lusting after you? You don't even know it. And they're undercover homos. Ladies, you know how men can be. They at the red light, you at the red light in your car, and this next man over there looking at you a certain way. Don't even know what you really look like. Lusting. You're in a supermarket with your man, and this next man is looking at you, waiting for a look and a glance so he can crush up his number and throw it on the ground. You go pick it up. They don't care. They don't care. These lower desires will pull you down, and they make it sweet so you can get hooked. And like they say in the Bible, right, when so many demons leave you, or when you banish certain things and you get back into it again, 7 more come. It's even if you don't believe in that, it is true. When you kick the habit on something and you get back into it and slip and fall back into it again, it's even harder as far as an addiction. So I can't do certain things. I know those pleasures, but I cannot do those things because those are not the proper pleasures. Those are not the wholesome pleasures. Those are not the righteous pleasures that bring you higher when you know you've ascended from the pit and the lower desires. So don't lie to yourself no more if you are. So some of us lie to ourselves so good we don't even know that we lied to ourselves. Ain't that something? Don't lie to yourself. Come up out of it. Come up out of her, my people. Right? Let's stop with the games because time is short. I want my wings. I want to go higher. I want my bags packed. I want my backside washed. I don't want to be that guy who's sipping the tea and drops 11 and squats and smells something so nasty. Because it can happen to all of us. So just know that I speak out of love. I'm not chastising anybody because I've been in the struggle and am still in it. I couldn't believe this feeling that overtook me when I was throwing up the old desires, upchucking it. The taste got back in my mouth. It was nasty, but it was, oh, this is what this tastes like. And I had to like get my head together for the next hour because it was something specific that was demonically transferred into me from back in them days. Now, I didn't want to be in a position where I was going to make that phone call. No, that's not right. I'm burying my soul, people. I'm telling y'all, this thing is real. And a lot of us can go through our whole life and just taxi down the runway of life without taking flight. We don't know how long our runway is going to be, meaning the time that we're going to be here. Take flight early. So if the runway ends up being short, you're okay. You won't fall off the runway into that body of water that all airports have so they can take better lift. Pack your bags, wash your ass, do whatever you got to do to have yourself ready. Like my mother always told me, when you leave the house, you make sure that your house is in order. Make sure them toilets are clean, papers in the bathroom, your clothes, everything, because you never know who's going to come back with you. So to that I say, make sure that your life is in order, because you never know the time that you plan a beautiful day that you don't come back home. When you see those car accidents where they're fatal, very much fatal, those people weren't planning on being out. They were going about their day, and in their mind, they're going to go home and eat dinner. See? Those planes that crash. Not to be gory, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying be prepared to fly. Be prepared to ascend, because it might be an abrupt parting of you and your body. That's practical. That's not me trying to scare you into any religion. That makes sense, because most of us don't know when that time is coming. And we want to be clean. You don't want to be carrying the old baggage of a hedonistic lust with you, because those things are not allowed on the higher levels. So you're going to have to learn to part with that now so you can make your transition easier. Prepare for that, because it's coming soon. If you're listening to this, if you're listening to this and making sense of this, chances are it ain't going to be where, oh, I got 150 years. We wish we could, but it ain't happening. And look at your life and how fast the time has gone. Even if you're 15 years old, look how fast you still think you got 1,000,000 years. When you start hitting around 40, 45, 50, for now, a lot of younger kids, they've seen so much death in their midst, and shooting and killing and overdose and different things. They understand time. And sometimes we push ourselves down and escape into our decadence, which is going to keep us here. Because remember, I said before, see it or see people as energy. We're all energy, but you don't have to have a person around you to understand that there's energies and entities and fallen spirits and angels around you, hoping that you get that indulgence going on, whispering into your spirit, it won't be so bad to do this one more time. She looked good. Why don't you go over there and talk to her? She looked like she down for it. Well, she got a girlfriend too? Well, shoot. You don't know, this might be the last time you could do this. But yeah, but that might be the last time that you have a chance to keep clean before you leave out of here. This is deep, y'all. Maybe I'm talking hocus pocus, but I'm going to have to talk the hocus pocus for the few people who understand the psychobabble that I'm speaking. Because I ain't holding back no more. I'm not even going to go in the slow lane. Okay, class, did you understand this part? If it goes over your head, you need to study and meditate even more. This is not the time for you to go slow. We need to focus and ascend better every day than the prior day. Because if we don't do it, it might be too late. And I love you all too much to hold back something that comes to me and not tell it to you. And whatever I tell to you, I'm doing to myself. For some reason, I've accelerated in my consciousness within the last few days, and I want to keep on going. I'm on a whole different level right now within myself. Yes, I'm going to tell some dirty jokes. Yes, we're going to tell some old stories. Not to keep people in them places, but let you know I've been there. And so when I talk this stuff now, you're like, damn, he was talking about that. But really, this is where he's at. So when you minister to people, that's what it's all about. Let them know, I used to walk like you walk. I used to do the things you did in them particular areas, but let me show you how to get out of it. And it still comes and tempts me. I ain't holy to now. You know what I mean? So anyway, just know that I speak out of love. It's not hate. It's not trying to feel superior. I'm not trying to be the guru. I'm not trying to be the prophet. I'm not trying to be this person who is a big lie, paper thin. I know a lot of those. I ain't trying to be that. I'm just Lancescurv, a dude who's out here trying to reflect the real. And I want to thank you all for helping me in some things that I needed to see. It's not just about me telling you, but whatever I have in my pockets, I'm going to share with you. Don't take that literal now. I ain't going to empty my bank account. I need it. Right? But I'm saying on a spiritual level, lessons, life lessons, I'm going to share it with you. But I'm going to share it with you in a way that others may not. Because, see, people want to share their stories, but they want to do it in such a clean, sterile way. You know, like, yes, well, and brush over things. And when I talk with you all one-on-one, I'm going to get down. Now, my time is limited. Right? I ain't charging nobody for nothing just to get rich. But soon, I'm going to ask for a little something for an hour. You want an hour or 2 or 3. Throw a little something this way because I have to run the platform. I'm running hot right now. I've talked with many people for over 21 years. Not a problem. But there's only one me. So I'll set up a schedule and I'll set up what it will be. And we can sit down and talk. But when I talk to you directly, I'm going to tell you some things that you probably never heard of before on the shows. Whatever it may be, I'm going to go there. I'm going to motivate you and encourage you. So I'm going to set that up soon. But just know that I speak out of love and experience. And I tell you, I might not have a degree from a university, but what I got is a lot more powerful and has been more beneficial to me because the life experience is something that you can't read out of a book. Much love to you all. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at Lancescurv.com and follow SCURV on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under Lancescurv.